and I didn't film that and put it on social media. I should be fired, Shamey. I should be fired.
And it's time for this. A day late.
Ocean Drives films with Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, and more to your seat. Find out more at Eclipse Cinemas.
Time to join our man at the movies. We've taken him off his surfboard for one day to get him back into the studio on this Friday. Collie, a good afternoon to you.
How are you doing? Hello from sunny Bundoran. And there's a little bit of surf as well, because surf's been on the subject. Not only is it our big movie this week, but a couple of days ago, I'm actually wearing the merch. We had the film The Cigarette Surfboard showed in Bundoran, and Eastleigh, Britain was up. I heard you mentioning the town of Eastleigh, which she's named after, and it was very good. It was great to see all the locals come out and support something that is such a good idea. It's about charity, about using cigarette butts taken off the beach to make into surfboards, which is pretty amazing.
Brilliant.
And before we do our movie, we should mention something else. We have another community screening this week, and it's called The Longest I got to get this wrong. Malantamizin. I always do it the wrong way. By a collective called Grounded in Soil. And people might have heard about this. It's a load of people who are very interested in organic farming, all types of farming, beef and dairy and crop farming. Clubbing together, as a lot of people are now, and they're really concerned not just about what they eat, but what it comes from. And they cycled around Ireland, linking up in all these different farms, these different organic centres, of which we've loads of here in the Northwest, and they filmed a lot, and they're going to be coming in. Now, this is their own thing, that they're selling the tickets themselves and all that sort of stuff. And they're doing a Q&A, and there's a guy from Fairvia Farm, and a sort of organic fitness center saying, people like our own Paddy, who's now a gym bunny, but you can do that sort of stuff and find products rather than throwing powders down you. That you can support a fitness program with this sort of stuff. Now, for me, I have enough problem making myself dinner, but maybe I'm the sort of person who needs to show that. And myself, we like to joke about this stuff, but we love when Irish people and local people are making their own stuff and showing it in cinemas. It's great to see, and it brings people in who don't usually come. So that's on Saturday at 6:00. Grounded in Soil. You find tickets on their website. It's all to do with them. And,
we actually have the poster up on our Facebook page on
lovely.
Ocean FM as well.
I think some of our listeners would be interested in that, don't you?
Absolutely. Now, getting back down to earth, or should I say, getting back into the water, our big movie this week, The Surfer.
Yeah. The Surfer, starring Nic Cage. This, I was intrigued by this. Obviously, Bundoran is so strongly linked with surfing, as is the Northwest. But then I saw the trailer with Nic Cage, and I went, wow, we have to get this. Let's play the clip. I think you might get a sense of it, even though you might know what's going on, because I've seen the movie, and I'm still not sure what's going on. Let's go.
All I want is to take my son surfing.
I'm not trying to be cruel. You don't belong here anymore.
I grew up here.
Don't live here, don't surf here.
Before you can have everything, you have to experience nothing.
What?
It ain't Crocodile Dundee now we're talking, but it is down in Australia way.
It is down Australia way, and Nic Cage used to be a local, despite his accent. They just explained that with one line. It doesn't really matter because nobody else, Shamey, could play this role as well. Like, it wouldn't matter if he was on the moon. You guy, he used to be from the moon, because you want him in this movie. And at first, so I was never a surfer, even though I live in Bundoran, but I was surf adjacent. I used to work in a surf centre and an outdoor adventure centre. So I thought it was a movie about localism, where they'll only let the locals in. And it starts off like this, but then it spirals into something else. And, I've seen a lot of movies, Shamey, and every time I thought I had this movie nailed, it changed into something else. First, I thought it was that sort of home invasion, even if it is the beach, sort of like Straw Dogs. Then I thought it's about a man's mental breakdown. And I was saying to you off air, I was thinking of the movie Falling Down, if you remember that. And at first you're looking at Michael Douglas as he has a sort of a nervous breakdown. You're going, oh, it's all him, or he's right. The world is mad. And then as it goes on, you go, or maybe is it him that's creating these tensions, these issues? And like, I didn't know, is this really happening to him as his life gets worse? He's getting picked on by these surf boys, and he starts lose like he loses his car and he can't find his phone. All of this stuff, and is it happening to him or not? And I wouldn't spoil it anyway, but I still I'm still somewhat dubious about what actually happened. But it had me enthralled, and mostly because of Nicolas Cage's performance. And you really believe as the couple of days go by, and he's sleeping in the car, and the lips are getting cracked, and the sunburn. It's so hot here, and for once in Bedoran, we felt like we could empathize with it. Okay, it's about 5 times the temperature is in Bedoran, but for us, it's been pretty hot. And he's getting, you're going, is he being bullied or does he have sunstroke? I've never seen an actor be so, willing to throw himself into the road. He looks so sunburned. Not since my cousin Jimbo got drunk and fell asleep in the Mullaghmore for 2 hours in the height of summer have I
Not
seen
this story again.
a head so red and purple in all my life, right? And you just don't know what's happening, and it's just got more and more bizarre. And then something happens and you go, whoa. Now that I didn't see coming. I thought this was really good. Now, full disclosure, this is going to be one of these. I might sneak myself beside the podium in the Eclipse cinemas, because I look forward to people coming out going, "Oh man, what a movie!" And somebody else going, "Are you serious? That was the worst hour and a half I heard in my life. I saw in my life." Because it's very much like that. We always go back to Banshees of Inisherin.
Yes.
Nobody thought that movie was okay. People loved it or they absolutely hated it. And I think The Surfer will be the same. I think if you're interested in brilliant filmmaking, and it's an Irish filmmaker, which I'd forgotten, you pointed that out off air, who made a very equally weird What's Going On story called Vivarium, which I think is on streaming. And it's really clever filmmaking, and it kind of doesn't hang about. It's an hour and a half of really intense. You wouldn't want it to be any longer. It's quite claustrophobic as you're kind of there watching him go through this horrible series of events, but also you're going, is it his own fault, or is this happening to him, or is it all in his head?
Right.
But
Okay.
I'd recommend it for anyone who's really interested in proper grown-up challenging cinema in the best way, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I think they really enjoy this. It's very good.
It is great to see Nicolas Cage, and he's a great actor, and he's getting really good roles now, and he's
And when they match the roles up, because the madness is always there.
Yeah.
But if they match the roles up with the madness, it just works so well when they do it right. When they find the right roles from it, he's great in this. Nobody else could do it as well.
Okay, you're back with the horror franchise. I think this is coming out next week. It's Final Destination.
But yeah, we have a special double bill tonight, and then it opens on Wednesday. Now, I know you're not a horror fan, and to be honest, neither am I, but I always thought this was a great idea, because we've always read, since I remember reading Reader's Digest when I was a kid, and the stories about somebody had a premonition that the plane was going to crash,
Yes.
so they wouldn't get on the plane, and the plane crashed anyway. And it's using that sort of urban myth. And the idea is these people do this, they avoid death, but death is coming. It comes for us all eventually. And because they dodged it and it was their time, they die in increasingly bizarre ways. And people love it because it's just an excuse to have, as quote Spinal Tap, to die in a bizarre gardening accident. And they're all very imaginative, silly but gory ways these people die. And they've had a whole series of movies. And what they're doing
In fact.
the final one is kind of tying up, and it shows that there's kind of a family trend. All these people have been related the whole way through. However, what they're doing, what the film company are doing, which I think is very clever, they're showing the first ever one and the last one. The same, it's the price of one ticket. You can watch the two. Now, this is for people who like a lot of gore. Shamey, this is not for you. Even the thought of the pizza between the two movies is not going to tempt you. But for horror fans, this is manna from heaven. This is lots of silly, funny gore, tongue-in-cheek, and lots of other things sticking through cheeks. Fairly hardcore, but for those who like it are going to love this. But the proper movie opens on Thursday, and I am going to see the proper movie, and I'll talk about it. And all next week you'll squirm and go, "Oh, Collie, I don't want to know." But some of our listeners like our horror, so I will go and see it this week, and I will talk about it on Thursday.
The things you do for this spot on the radio. Now you've got we're heading to Japan next.
Yeah, Demon Slayer. So this is another movie that only opens on Wednesday. But so this is a series, it's an anime series, and it has been on stream and stuff, and they put them together as a movie. to show fans because people love to see it on the big screen. But I'd say most people who go to watch this will have seen it before or seen some of it before. It's a collection, and what there is, they're making a big new movie in September, and they're ramping it up over here. And also, I think on TV it was shown with a dubbed language, and a lot of the fans of all ages, they don't like the dubbed version, even though they don't speak Japanese. They like to see it in subtitles. They think it's better. So this is shown. It'll only show for 2 or 3 days because it's very much a select audience who absolutely love it, and they're showing that ahead of the. There's a big movie coming out in a couple of months, so they're showing the other 2 collections, and there. So it's Demon Slayer: Mugen Train. It's very popular. It's one of Japan's biggest movies ever, and that's out on Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh, so now, Missed It Monday, one of your absolute favorite films from this year, Four Mothers.
And do you know, yesterday we had a parent and baby screening of this movie yesterday, and people turned up, and I can't believe it only occurred to me today. 4 women and their kids turned up, and it was 4 mothers went to 4 mothers, and I didn't film that and put it on social media. I should be fired, Seamie. I should be fired. But anyway, they absolutely loved it. None of them had ever heard of it. They only went because there was parent and baby screening. They wanted to go to cinema. So this is a story about a couple of guys who are living at home with their mums because they're all gay, so they don't have partners in this case, and their siblings all have partners, so they end up being the main carers for their mums, and 3 of them are really, browned off with life, and they decide they're heading off on holidays, and they dump the mothers with the other fella who can't leave. And he's a lovely man, but he's a bit of a doormat, So he puts up with them. And of course, in the way arrogant sons all over the world believe, they go, sure, they're 4 old ladies. They'll get on great together. They'll love each other. And of course, they're very different personalities. This is a brilliant, funny movie. This is going to be a movie that's going to be shown again and again. It's going to be on TV streaming. It's going to be back in cinemas because people are going to love this. And they didn't really discover it because it doesn't have the budget to see. In the same way, The Snapper, people forget, The Snapper was on telly before it was ever in the cinemas. The Snapper was made for TV and it was so popular. This is a brilliant movie. People will love it. It's on a Monday, only €5. Come and see it. You laugh, you'll cry.
Okay. Enjoy the movies. That's all we got. Till next Thursday.
We'll see you then.
Collie on Movies.
Bye.